So I already recorded this, but my iPhone ran out of storage. So I'm gonna record again. Um, Last night was my friend's concept party for Valentine's Day, and she had around 5 to 6 artists perform, and I was one of them. I was the opening. And I made this video, or I'm making this video because I've been thinking a lot about balance, and basically what I've been having trouble with is that my normal schedule is very hectic. I wake up super early, I work out, I walk my dog, which is like 45 minutes. I get ready, I go to work. I commute about 35 minutes. I work from 7:30 to 4:30, and then I commute home. I walk my dog again. I eat, meal prep, do all that stuff. So then by then it's like 6:37. I go to bed early because I wake up super early. So I'm in bed by 9 or 10 o'clock. That leaves around 3 hours on the weekdays to work on music. And that's hard because in between the time that I'm home, I'm also trying to decompress from work. And before this, I worked at a coffee shop. And if you know anything about coffee shops, most of the baristas there are creatives because the schedule makes it easy to do other things. And at the time, before I got this job, I was trying to decide, do I want to struggle but make my art, or do I want to be stable and fit my art into my time? And the thing about me is that I can't make art when I'm struggling. I know a lot of people think the best art comes out of struggle, but I can't do it. I have, everything has to be stable, like my financials, my mental health, having food, water, shelter, before I make my art. And so I've always had to take care of all those things first before I try to do anything. So before this current job, I was wondering which one was more important. And at the time, I was so sure that, oh, I'll be able to fit my art once I have a stable job. It's really hard to fit it into a 9 to 5 because, yeah, you might clock in at 9 and clock out at 5, but that doesn't account for all the other time that you have to do things. It doesn't mean 5 to 9 you're just in your apartment or at your house. It doesn't mean 6 to 10 you're just in your apartment. You have your commute, you have dinner, you have other responsibilities. And so I've been really struggling with how to balance all of that because the art is the most important thing. And what it really comes down to is after my performance, I walked off stage and I thought that wasn't any better than my last performance 3 months ago. And for 3 months to have gone by and there to have been no progress at all, it was really disappointing. And I felt a little embarrassed of myself. You know, nobody came up to me and was like, that wasn't your best. But I knew that I could have done better. And I know progress comes from practice. And if there's no practice, there's no progress. And I haven't been able to practice the way that I want. I haven't learned exactly how to fit all of that into those 2 or 3 hours when I get home. And it's strange because performing is what I do. I've been doing it for a long time, but I did it because I got better and better. Like dancing, I used to dance every day for like 1 hour to 2 hours to 3 hours. I was just dancing in college and in high school because I had the time. That's why I became such a good performer and such a good dancer because I put in a lot of time. But I had a lot of time to do that. And performing in this way, singing and dancing on stage and being this type of performer is new to me. And I can't compare this new thing that I'm learning to something that I've been doing for a long time. I know I have a certain level of performance when I'm just dancing. Now I have to get to a certain level of performance when I'm dancing and singing. And it's different. And when I see my performances and it's not the level that I know it could be, I get frustrated. So I've been trying to figure out how to balance these things because I know with practice it gets better. Like, that's a fact. But the practice has to be done. And so there's really no point in being disappointed in myself if I haven't even put in the work. And I'm trying to find a way. Sometimes it's I struggle with this, but a lot of people will say that if you really love something, you should be able to just do it like that. Sometimes for me, it's hard to even like tell myself to do the dishes or like get out of bed or like do a task. And so it's not as simple as you just need to get up and do it. Or it's not as simple as, oh, you just need to stay up until the wee hours of the morning, till 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning and just grind. I wake up at 4:30. My commute is 35, 40 minutes. I get tired. And I've had times where if I go to bed at like 11 or 12, I'm falling asleep on the road. I'm not sacrificing that so I can work till 2 or 3 in the morning. It's just not. There are some people who can do it, but I can't. So that's another thing. I can't follow that advice because it doesn't apply to me. Another thing would be on the weekends, I'm so busy decompressing from work that I don't notice all the time that I have to work on music because I'm trying to like regulate my nervous system after work for the entire week. So I have to figure out how to balance that and get up and do what I need to do, because also dancing was always fun. I'm not saying performing isn't fun, but adding the singing element makes me a little nervous. So that part is the frustrating part, while the dancing part is the fun part. But I have to be more focused on the singing because the dancing kind of comes second right now. So it is a little frustrating because singing is still something I'm working on. And I'm tired of looking back on my performances and feeling embarrassed or ashamed or like I haven't grown at all. It's not a good feeling, and it's something that I know how to fix it. I just don't know how to make it work with my schedule. And so that's what I've been spending a lot of time on. Um, it's been hard. I I know there's a way to do it, but right now I'm trying to, I don't know. I might for a week pick a song and do it like an hour a day, 30 minutes a day, and see how that progress looks after a week. Just to like as a little experiment, but it's hard because obviously the goal is to be doing this all day, full time, you know? But until I can do that, I have to, and it feels bad saying I have to squeeze my dreams into the rest of my life, but one day I won't have to. But right now, that's the case. So I've got to figure it out, and I've got to make it work for me, because the option is not to give up. The option is not to, well, I guess I just shouldn't even try. That's not what we want to do. So I am going to look back on my performances this year and be able to be proud of myself. But I have to figure out how I'm going to be able to put in the proper work and practice to do that. How I'm going to shift my hours, my time, my focuses, my priorities in order to do that. And that's what I've been dealing with. I don't even know if I'm going to look back at my performance from last night. I kind of don't want to. I have a habit of not doing that, even though monitoring is very important. it's hard for me. So we'll see. We'll see what I end up choosing to do, but I'll figure this out. It's just been really rough. And for someone who loves performing, looking back and not being proud of a performance is the worst feeling. And I'm kind of tired of it because it's supposed to be fun. And performing is fun for me. So I've got to do the practice to make sure that it stays fun. And dancing sometimes was really frustrating, but the end result was always super fun. And that's how I feel about performing. So that means I have to work through the frustrating parts in order to get that result that I always get when I'm happy when I've performed. So we'll see. But that's all I wanted to talk about. Yeah. Bye. Oh, sick. It recorded the whole thing. Oh my God. Wait. This was a short video. I feel like I should yap some more. I already talked about my artist name change. The concept I did last night was like a spaceship voice talking to Moody about love and Valentine's Day, and people thought that was really cool. I've been working more on Moody's visual landscape, talking more to people about niche sounds and where I think my music fits. I should probably talk about that in another video. That's a pretty in-depth thing that I've been thinking about. But I really admire the people that I get to see perform, and my biggest thing has always been I want people to see me and say, oh man, I've got to see her perform. Even if they don't like the music, just to be like, undeniably, she's an amazing performer. And having grown up with people like Janet, Michael, Rihanna, Beyonce, it's just the one thing I care about. I'm not even going to say that, but I care about it so deeply that I want to make it the best that it can be because I love it. The dog barking is crazy. My dog was in here earlier, and even he was like interrupting the camera, but he wasn't barking. And that's why I tried to do this earlier at 6, because there wasn't going to be a dog barking. And now it's 7 o'clock and there's a dog barking. And that's probably how people feel about my dog, because he barks at like midnight and 1 a.m. and it drives people nuts. I know it does. They don't have to tell me because it drives me nuts. But yeah, I've been working on Moody's soundscape, the sounds that make up who she is. I've been working on the aesthetics. I'm working on releasing a song in the summer and getting a dance for it. That's been really hard because when you want to build community, it's hard because people with freelancing need to get paid because they want to do this. But other times it's like, I can't pay them now because I'm just starting. But it's such a hard, because if I was a dancer, I would just dance for the experience or the exposure, but that's not always the case for a lot of people, and I get why. So I've been searching for a choreographer and some dancers, and it's hard because I said that it wasn't a paid gig. It wasn't paid practices, so we'll see how that goes. I might reach out to some people personally that I know wouldn't mind that it's not paid, but it's hard. You want to build the community, but you also want to help. It's like when your artist friend has a show and you pay for the show, but you're like, that's my friend. But it's like, also, I need to support my friend. You know what I mean? Like, that's how I feel about having the dancers and not being able to pay them right now, because I know that dancers need the support. And so it feels a little unfair to ask that of people. but I really want to start having dancers. And I guess that just means the ones who, you know, I can't consider the ones who want to be paid right now. So I've got to work with the ones who just want exposure. And that's fine. I just had the feeling that nobody would want to do it if it wasn't paid. So we're going to work on that. And I think that's all I can say. My camera might cut out, but we're going to work on that. We're going to work on this song for summer and just performing. I think I might actually work on that song to perform. Yeah, I think that's it. Yeah, these are fun to do now or to get back into. So hopefully I can look back on this video and be like, yeah, my performing got better. So we'll see.